Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. This is the after show for Castle. This is episode 12, Private Eye Caramba. I'm your host, Heather Joy Smith, and with me tonight is the lovely
Alexis McLeod-Torres. Hi everybody.
Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's episode, I
don't even know where to start.
It's making us a little feisty.
I guess it was just because it was it wasn't like extremely exciting, but it was definitely just like one right after the other. We're just moving, and I was just like, wow, I'm in the mood to do something.
I felt like it was a little bit slow, and then like 3/4 of the way through, then it was like boom, 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 and like...
Yeah. It was
crazy.
I thought it was great though, but at the same time I was just like, I just need to move.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know if that's just...
We got some energy from this episode for no reason.
No reason. It just came out of nowhere. I'm just like, let's go, Castle.
I think it was Sofia del Cordova.
Is it Cordova?
Yes. Del Cordova.
Yeah. She had the hardest name. I was like, Sofia del Cordova. I mean, I'm probably butchering it.
I think that's why throughout this entire episode, they referred to people as like Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, instead of like saying their entire name the entire time.
I mean, you know, I have a long name too. Like
you do.
I have everybody's last name in my name, which is nice, but at the same time, when I'm filling out forms, it is the worst. My full first name is Alexis Raquel. And then my middle name is Yunin, and then it goes McLeod-Torres. So I'm Alexis Raquel Yunin McLeod-Torres.
That is a name.
So
can you share some of it? Because I'm Smith, and that's kind of boring.
You can have at least one of them.
Okay.
I don't mind which one. You could take either one. Do you want to be Spanish or you want to be Irish? Which one do you
Heather
want?
Torres from now on.
There you go. I like it. But I like your name though, because it has like a flow to it. I'm Heather Joy Smith.
I'm Heather Joy Smith.
It's the perfect name, I think.
It's very generic.
I don't think so. I like it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like an ice cream. Like, can I have the Heather Joy Smith? Or like a Starbucks drink or something?
I could deal with that.
Right?
Can I get a grande Heather Joy Smith, please?
Yeah, like it's like a Christmas drink. I think it's cute. I don't know. You can't get can I have Alexis Raquel Yunin McLeod-Torres with extra pump of caramel? Like, you can't do that.
Well, let's talk about another name here that's really hard
I don't know
to
how
say.
to say her name. Go for it.
Anahita.
Yeah, but I don't even know. Is it Melendez?
I didn't even write down her last name because there was no way I was going to be able to pronounce it. I just keep calling her Anna. So we'll just call her Anna throughout this entire thing so we don't butcher it any more than we already have.
A bit.
Just a little bit.
But she looked so pretty
she
before
got
killed. What? It's true. I was like, man, that dress is working, girl. And then I was like, oh, you died.
And we only got her for like 30 seconds before she was whacked over the head.
But it was so weird because the way that she was talking into the buzzer, it was just like, it looked like she was just standing there. And then all of a sudden we cut to the crime scene and I was like, how does that work?
Yeah, and the weird thing is while she's like trying to buzz in, they kind of showed a canvas of the whole area.
There was nobody there.
Nobody was there. So where did this person just pop out of nowhere?
I don't know. There's a lot of what is the word? Continuity issues.
Yeah.
With some of the stuff here, and we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah.
There's one I know that you know what I'm talking about, where I was just like, no, that's not how that works, and I will be nitpicky.
Yes.
Tonight, it's happening.
It's always happen on this show, though. So tonight, like we said, Anna got killed. She is a famous telenovela actress. Yeah, up and coming rising star. And apparently she had some little things, that she was sneaking around that might have got her killed tonight.
There's so much going on. Like, I remember we were talking about this earlier, how Castle just knows how to bring out these ridiculous... It's not like Castle Theory kind of ridiculous, but it's so close that you're just like, that. How does that person get tied up with this person and ends up in this... How does that does that work? But I love that at the same time because it's so new and it's so different, and I love the fact that it goes from one point to the other where you're like, what? I love Castle for that.
Yeah. So we kind of got a bunch of different characters tonight, and the first one we got, I believe it's Marcus. Oh God, I wrote his name down wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. But he was her assistant, and he actually Marcus Segundo. Okay, I can't even read my own writing tonight. I'm so sorry. So he was Anna's assistant, and apparently Anna had, I don't know if you want to say overworked, but she wasn't getting the days off that she wanted to get off. And so her and her assistant decided to stage this whole like fight, like in front of everybody. And so people thought he attacked her, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he was the murderer. Maybe they had some falling out, whatever.
Yeah, so that she got the days off.
Yeah, so she got the days off, but come to find out it was all planned by them.
Which was, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to kill her, but I wasn't expecting the fight to be fake. So that was interesting.
Very interesting how that worked. And he was kind of in and out character, just kind of, you know, a floating guy here and there.
Yeah.
But then we kind of find out that Anna, the night that she was murdered, went to, you know, an opera. She was in, you know, full ball gown, you know, white gloves. She had a really nice purse.
I mean, Castle fans, did you see this purse?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I would really like that purse.
Also, I also need to talk about this. $500,000 purse. Who pays for a purse?
Well,
like
come
that?
To find out, we found out it wasn't real.
But
even still, if it was
like that, I could pay off college loans and then some. Like that's too much for a purse that you could just be wearing to like.
That's like carrying a house around. Like, here's my house in a purse.
Yeah, or car.
Yeah. A really expensive
car.
Get a Lamborghini for that.
And you're just putting your lipstick, your keys, and a couple little other things in there. Well, apparently,
and a USB drive.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
A UBS drive.
It's a UBS drive.
It's a UBS drive now, guys. UBS.
Yeah, we had Heather and our good friend JC, who was sitting there watching with us, he was like, "Did you guys notice that she's been saying UBS this whole time?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then our little subtitles came up, and I was like, "Oh my God, she's been saying UBS this whole time."
Yeah.
Wow.
So crazy. There's a lot of things that we catch from watching the show with the subtitles that you would just kind of gloss over if you were just watching the show, not even here.
I didn't even notice it at all until either he mentioned it or I read it. And I was like, huh, look at that.
I love that she got it.
But it's funny because that's we're fast forwarding, but the fact that she did call a USB at the end, I was like, okay, all right,
you finally got it.
But I was just like, you didn't know that before that?
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. I'll let it go that, you know, her accent got in the way.
Yeah.
Sure.
She got a little confused. So Anna went to this opera that we find out from Ronnie, and Ronnie is the opera concierge employee.
He works at the opera house.
Yeah, he works there. He kind of hangs out, and he's just full of information.
Yeah, and now his pockets are full of money.
Yeah.
Because Castle's, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I was in his position, I would be like, yep, yeah, I have vital information for your case.
Give me money.
Especially since he knew who Castle was right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I am sad that he isn't writing, but, you know.
Yeah.
I did like that. I love that.
Yeah, I love that Ronnie was like, wait, you're a PI now? I thought you were a writer. Like, poor Castle.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. But, I mean, he doesn't really have, you know, the right to say that. Because what if he's being a PI to further another book?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Ronnie. Yeah.
So, Ronnie also let them know that Anna was in the bathroom. She came pretty much almost by the time the opera was done. There was only 5 minutes left. All she did was come in, go to the bathroom, come out, and leave in a white limo.
Yeah. And I was like okay, that's
super
strange.
Random. Like, who does that?
I mean, with the dress that she was wearing, I thought she was going to be there for a little longer.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, why would you get that dressed up just to
Well, I mean, it made sense now because we know that she was meeting Layla Nazif, and you know, and there was a secret meeting there. They exchanged a UBS, so you know, it's important business. But in my brain, I was thinking, oh, that's a lot to get ready for if it's just for a meeting. But it also, you know, you look suspicious if you just show up in a jeans and a t-shirt. And
True.
It's like, oh, I'm just gotta use the bathroom. Don't worry about it. You
yeah.
know?
It's like she was already noticeable. And then if she were to dress up in that, it's like, whoa, red flags. What are you doing?
Yeah. So she was a smart cookie about it, but it was, it should send off some sort of signal like, okay, she just went to use the bathroom and then she left. Mm-hmm. But I mean, she got her mission, even though at the ending part of it didn't work out very well. But that was the thing that I was bringing up. I was like, how does she know the daughter of I can't remember. He was in the UN for...
He is the daughter of a Saudi official.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was there for a UN conference. And I was just like, how does that even work?
Yeah. Super random that they even, crossed paths or anything. And then when Layla was brought in by Beckett to be questioned about all of this information,
suspicious.
Very suspicious. She brings in her lawyer, which is okay. You get that. Okay, she's high ranks.
Yeah, she's a diplomat.
Yeah,
or a daughter of a diplomat.
Yeah,
so
then obviously you would. But the fact that she wouldn't say pretty much anything and just got up and left and said, But
it was crazy how her demeanor changed. She was like, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And as soon as she's like, oh, I heard you went to the opera house. What? And I was like, whoa, no, I was never there. That's a lie. The person that gave you the information was incorrect. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, slow your roll there. Like,
yeah.
Hold it back. Pump the brakes.
Chill out, Layla.
It's okay.
It's not that serious.
Yeah, I just needed to know why you were there. Nope, I wasn't there. It was a lie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Which, if you're Beckett, you're like, whoa, this girl is super suspicious. Could she be guilty? Did she kill her? What is going on?
In my brain, I wasn't thinking that, she was the murderer. It was more just like, okay, she obviously knows something and she's trying, she thinks that she's trying hard to hide it, but it's like written all over her face, and I was just like, what are you doing?
I actually, at first, I didn't think she did it, but I thought her dad had done something because they kind of mentioned her dad. I was like,
your dad must have killed her for
your
something.
Dad must have killed her for some reason.
In my brain, I was just thinking, what does a telenovela star have to do with a diplomat's daughter? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And it was just, that's why I was just like, I need to know what's going on. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. But bringing it back, I did like that Kate tried to help out Castle by giving him this case, which actually worked out even more because Castle solved the case.
Yeah. So speaking of which, Castle this entire time was hired by Sofia del Cordova to find this $500,000 purse and, use his special PI skills that he's acquired lately.
I just love how he's just talking as an old 20s, PI, and then catches him off guard. Yeah. When she's just like, hi, Mr. Castle. And he's like, you weren't listening, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I did love that. That was really cool of him to do that. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of playing off of each other in that kind of light.
They were.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that they both weren't sure about was this white limo. And, Castle decides to go out on his own and figure out where this limo comes from. Finds out it's from the Danbury Group limo services and shows up there and gets himself into a little bit of trouble.
I was just, in my brain, I was thinking, okay, think about it. If there is a $500,000 purse in a limousine, you think, and they've been investigating for at least a day or two.
Yes.
You actually think the driver is going to leave it? I mean, in my brain, I was also thinking, okay, maybe she stashed it and hid it somewhere and then maybe they didn't find it. But in my brain, I'm like, those guys usually clean those out. Usually. Don't quote me. I'm not a limo driver. But I feel like they would have cleaned it, found it, and went, oh, look at that. Keep. That kind of thing. I mean, I would assume that he would probably find some information. But at the same time, I was just like, that's not going to be there. And, of course, he got locked in. And it was... Harlan Mathis.
Yeah.
Which he was military. They didn't really go into.
They didn't go into too much detail on him, but he was working, I believe, with the Danbridge Group, who was controlled by the Nazif family.
Mm-hmm. And they found his fingerprint on his neck. Yeah. Of course, as soon as they said that, I was like, oh, he's the killer, done.
Totally.
But no, apparently he was checking her pulse because his mission was to find her, grab her, and take her to Mr. Nazif. And that obviously didn't work out very well.
No.
But it was weird how he explained his story. So he picked her up. Obviously, she knew something was wrong, got out. He went to either go park the car or go find her or something like that. And then in between, she died. He found her, checked her pulse, and then just left.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't in this whole time you call 911? Like, hello, like, you're gonna look guilty. You're fingerprints now on her. I mean, obviously, I don't think he thought, oh, it's going to stick on there.
Yeah, and I was also trying to figure out where the ink came from.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling that was the, gosh, I can't remember this dude's name. The examiners. I think that was like to get them up.
Okay, because I was going to say, I was like, that was kind of strange.
Yeah, no, I think that's like the little ink that they kind of splot on it and then get the print off.
Okay, I learned something today. But
well, don't quote me on that. I'm not.
I mean, I know, but it would make more sense now because, I mean, that wouldn't make sense why Mathis had ink on his hands. Yeah. You know, that would be a dumb idea. Like, oh, I'm going to check your pulse. Whoops. Guess I'll leave it there. And then, like, walk off. Like, that's not how that works. So, yeah, that actually makes more sense. Yeah. Because I was thinking about that. And I was like, wow, you just got caught literally black-handed.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
That's really dumb. But, yeah, so we find out that, yeah, he was hired to grab her. And then that was it. Found out that she was dead and just left it at that. And I think he got his money and then he tried to, disappear and Castle found him.
Yeah.
By accident. Castle fashion.
Thankfully, Ryan and Esposito were there to bail Casket. Oh my
Casket.
God. I can't even, I'm getting them all mixed up. Castle out. Casket. I'm just, they're all both there.
No. We can talk about this now. I mean, their relationship. I mean, I'm glad that they're married and they're happy. I love it. But my God, man.
Holy moly, these two
I'm just gonna say
birds.
It's because the fact that they're newlyweds and they don't get to see each other every day like they used to, so they're all over each other. But my God,
like calm it down a little, you guys.
My first thing was, why don't you close the door and lock it?
Right.
I mean, I don't think they were thinking that they were gonna get all hot and heavy, but in my brain, I was like, hey, I'm alone with my man. I'm gonna close and lock the door, and then if anything happens, I don't have to worry about Sophia standing in the doorway like,
excuse me.
I don't think I pay you to be sitting there and doing the public.
I love that she was like, your review on Mr. Castle is not very biased. Like, clearly.
Well, because, I mean, she didn't mention that she knew him. I mean, that she was involved. She was just like, I know a guy who would be perfect for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just love that. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Or no, I think she said, like, am I interrupting? Or no, I can't remember what the line was where, I can't remember what it was, but it was really funny how she was just really, like, quick to the quip of just, like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But, I think it was like, I didn't know you were going to be here. And she's like, yeah, I can see that. And she, turned the light on, and I was like, yes.
You got busted.
I was just like, come on, guys. I know that you're married and you don't get to see each other, but at least close the door. Yeah. We're adults now, guys. Get with it. But yes, I don't know. I'm glad that they're all kinds of all over each other.
Yeah. So
but anyway, so we get back and we find out that actually Sophia is not what she portrays to be, because Castle goes back to, because he finds out from Mathis that she didn't have the purse when she was in the limousine, so there was no purse at all. So that means she stashed it somewhere before she got into the limousine. So she goes back, talks to Ronnie. Ronnie asks for, a couple more tips, and finds out that she actually, I thought it was going to be in the trash can, but he actually found it in the bush next to the trash can.
Which is so random. Like, I'm curious why she would have stashed her purse in the bush.
Yeah.
First, I mean, like, what made her think that she wasn't going to take it into the limo with her and that she was going to stash it into the bush? Like, why did she do that? Like, they never really kind of said that. Like, why didn't she want this USB drive with her at all times? Like, it was just kind of like swept under and no one said anything about it. Because say she didn't die, she gets back to her apartment and the purse is still in that bush.
Yeah, true. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, was that... I don't know. Like,
That's a good question. I didn't even think about that. I don't know. Because, I mean, I didn't even think that it was going to be that big of a deal in the first place when they were like, oh, she had the USB. And then when we found out that Sophia was part of it, that she wanted the USB. And I was just like, okay, now I'm lost. So I don't understand how that whole system worked. So that was actually a really good thing to think about. That
I'm
didn't
very
even cross
curious for the writers out there.
You guys should put in the comments
Tweet
below.
us your theories.
Because I want to know more about that, because I didn't even cross my mind.
Speaking of which, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to comment down below. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure to give us 5 stars.
5 stars!
Yay! And comment there too.
Please, we love reading your comments. I didn't get a chance to read last week's comments, but I know that the usual people who usually get on us is Pam D, you know who you are,
yes,
and Monica. But I would like to get more people so we can shout out to you, talk more, converse about Castle and things like that. We do love it. So just gotta let us know, especially now that we're getting close to the end now. And we'll get more into the next episode, but the next episode's kind of intriguing. I kind of want to know what you guys actually think about that, because I feel like we're getting into the more, not gritty stuff, but more of the like fast paced, like Castle's kind of losing his mind kind of thing. Yeah. I think it's gonna be really good. But anyway, back to this one. Find the USB. Sophia's like, give it to me, I want it. And I was like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, with the gun.
Yeah.
Hello.
I was like, whoa.
Oh,
and
that
like,
escalated quickly.
Good job, Castle. You're back in the saddle there. Great. And we skipped this, but I love that the fact that Esposito and Rein had to save him from Mathis, but in order to repay them, he had to get them floor seats to the Knicks. And I was like, I
love that.
Really? You couldn't just be like, hey, you saved my life. No, I want
they want something for it. Those
terrible.
2 guys.
But yeah, so of course we find out that actually there is it's the number for a Swiss bank account for $100 million. And
Can you even imagine what to do with that? I mean, we thought the 500,000 was a lot. 100 million. What do you do with that?
My heart stopped. I was just like, money.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do with it either. I wouldn't be able to spend a majority of that. It would just be sitting there like...
It makes me kind of wonder how much did this woman's TV network cost that they were planning on creating with this $100 million. I mean,
agree.
that's a lot of money.
mean, I'm going to assume that it's mostly travel expense, because they're taking, it's a Latin women, Latin American women TV network. So maybe even if it's not like traveling far, maybe if they want to travel or bring in any other newscasters from like, South America and other places like that. But yeah, that doesn't even cover everything.
Amount.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of a budget right now of like, oh yeah, this is how much a studio costs and a sound stage. Like I can't,
no idea.
It's not on the top of my head, but I really don't think it's 100 million. I could be wrong. Someone needs to tell me if they know anything about business and that stuff. But I was like, what are you buying? What are you buying?
Yeah.
Jeez. But I mean, still, it was a good cause. It was just handled very, very poorly. And I like that Layla was a part of it. She found a very huge interest in it. So that's where the connection is. But still, executed really strangely. And I didn't like that. But it was all because Layla's father didn't approve.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think they had to go with this kind of weird transaction of this. And come to find out, Anna and Sophia had been talking about doing this network for some time, and they were going to do it together. And kind of, I think Francisco Herrera, who is Anna's ex-boyfriend, had some suspicious like things that he thought was going on there and didn't quite know. So he actually had Sophia's trailer bugged.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, creepy.
I love it when they were like, when did you discuss this? And they're like, oh, in my trailer, in private.
Yeah. As soon as they said that, I was like,
no, that's not how that works. That's not how anything works.
No.
Like someone, my thing was I didn't think it was going to be bugged. I definitely thought that maybe someone was just listening from outside. Because when you're sitting in a trailer, you can't see people because you're elevated. So...
And you can hear through them pretty easily.
You can, yeah, exactly. Like, you can't even hear people, like, walking by you, especially if you're, talking to somebody, you know. So, I thought, like, someone was just standing by the door and was like, ooh, okay. But to go to the point of, like, borrowing. He
borrowed it from the sound guy, and the sound guy told on him.
I mean, it made sense. It was like, oh, yeah, he borrowed it from me last week. Why?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the sound guy, I would have been like, yeah, he borrowed it from me, but I didn't know what he needed it for. Maybe I would have thought, like, it was for, like, a side project, or they were filming on location. They needed it, and he wasn't available or something.
And it sounds like Francisco Herrera was kind of, like, one of the top bosses there, too. So if a sound guy is approached by this guy.
Oh, yeah, he's going to give him whatever he wants.
He's going to give him whatever he wants because he sounds like he's in charge of whatever's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he was the director of the show because he was always, or at least the AD or something, because he was always he was always on set by the screen, you know, that kind of stuff. But he was not the one that I was thinking. I thought it was the co-star, not Sophia, the gentleman, which I can't remember his name right now. No, not Marcus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the other co-star, the male co-star.
Yeah, because you know how like they only talk for like a split second and then they leave and you never see them again. I was like, oh, it's got to be him.
That's the funny thing is, as soon as I saw that guy like come in, I was like, he's got to be the murderer. I was way off.
Yeah, so was I. I mean, but technically the theory still sticks because Francisco only talked in the beginning. Exactly. And he also left again. So, but I was thinking like, oh, he cares so much about her. That's really, you know, he wouldn't do that. Well. Wah, wah. But yes, so he was the one. It was just more of him just being heated, you know, like I made her, and I was like, oh yeah, you're crazy. Yeah,
he's got the crazy
psychopath. Yeah, and like you could see it like in his eyes. I was like, you're nuts. But yeah. He ended up just being jealous of the fact they were starting a network and that he would lose both of them. And then that would be it. But in my brain, I was thinking he could have found 2 other very pretty Latin women and probably continue. Won't be as popular, sure, but I think he would have been able to
rebuild. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. But that's what ended up happening. Of course, you know, they all solved the case together, which was nice. Yay! And then... Of course, they went to their typical cheesiness and talked about how, like, oh, well, we got interrupted earlier. Yeah. So, nudge, nudge.
One thing that I was kind of hoping for at the very end of this is the fact that they did all kind of solve this case together, and Castle was a huge part of this.
He actually solved this case.
He pretty much did it.
Yeah.
No signs of Sir this entire episode. And I kind of expected her to come out at that very last scene where they're like,
what are you doing here?
And being like, you know, great job, Castle. Welcome back. We're still not back. It's driving me nuts, you guys.
I'm telling you, I think it's going to be my 3-episode thing. Like I said, I think it's going to go 3 episodes, or at least until like the second to last episode for the season.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I'm waiting for it. But the other person I'm missing is Lainey.
Yeah, where is Lainey?
I mean, I'm going to assume that the actress is probably busy with something.
That's what I was like. She's probably on vacation, like tropical island or something.
Or working on other things. I have no idea, but I'm like, I want my Lainey.
I know. I'm like,
I hate this guy. No offense to the
actor, but we like Lainey better.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not you.
Yeah, it's your character.
It's your character.
He's irritating me. Yeah. So I think it's a good time. Or do you have any news and gossip?
I don't have any news and gossip, so let's get into some predictions.
Yes, please. I'm very excited.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Ooh. Okay, Alexis, your turn.
Okay, so we saw that Castle might be losing his marbles with this next case because he's... I couldn't really tell what was going on. I know that there was a guy that was involved. He says like, oh, no one's ever going to believe you. You're not going to be able to catch me, this and this and this and this. And as he predicted that, like, yeah, no one's going to believe you. So Kate's just like, I think you need to relax and stuff. So I think it's a good way for him to be busy. But at the same time, I'm also kind of scared of where we're going to see kind of a crazy, radical kind of Castle, which has happened before. But it'll be interesting to see how he handles this case. And also I don't like that we have to wait till February 2nd for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was so distracted by the fact that we had to wait 2 weeks to see this next episode. I can't even remember what the
That's what it was. It was really weird. I was there like, on February 2nd. And I was like, what?
And then I was like, wait, what? February 2nd? That's in 2 weeks.
And I was like, that's weird. I don't know. I can't think of a reason why. I thought it was the Super Bowl, but that's the day before.
Yeah.
And before the 2nd. And then... and then I don't know what's going on next week. Unless you guys know, then, you know, let us know in the comments. But I have no idea what's going on.
They're just taking a break, I guess.
Which is fine. I just, you know.
We'll take a break too, I guess.
I'll just cry in a corner. It's okay. But yeah, it just seems like, there's a case that he's having a hard time solving, and it just makes him look like he's a nutball. But I am hoping that that we start getting closer to this Castle business, or this Castle missing
Are we ever going to go back to this?
I'm scared that they're going to wait till like the last 2 episodes and jam pack it into everything. And I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Or they're just going to like give us this huge cliffhanger again.
God, I hope not.
I hope not too. Please don't do that.
That would be a
us.
terrible way to start again season 8.
I know.
And then put the rest of it in filler. And I'm like, no,
don't do it.
I know that you don't remember much, but do you remember what are your predictions, at least for the next episode?
I don't.
All right.
I'm still gonna go with the fact though that next episode he has to come back. We can't do this much longer, this PI business. It's a little too silly.
I think it'll be the last one.
The last one. It's got to end.
I mean, the only reason why I think it's long lasting is just because he bought an office and like he made a pretty big deal about it. He had a website. He can get rid of the office, but I feel like he put so much work into it. It'd be weird for him to be like, yeah, bye.
I love that Kate, though, this whole episode was like, or at the beginning of the episode at least, was like, you don't have to do this. You can just give it up. It's okay.
Yeah. And I love how like Mama Shades was just like, oh yeah, apparently he's doing really well, and she's like, No, she's not. And he's like, oh, okay, well, never mind then. I don't know what my son is up to. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's strange. But I think this will be the last episode. We'll get another case and he'll be back on the PI system.
Yeah.
I don't
know. Everybody tweet us your thoughts and let us know your predictions. Yes, me too. So where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at on Twitter and Instagram at ATorres890. That's ATORRES 890. Heather?
And you guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith. Yeah, Heather Joy Smith. And we will see you guys back here in 2 weeks from today, February 2nd. Have a great little break.
Yeah.
And
we'll see you guys.
See you then.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.